Hey everybody, welcome to Pop Culture Philosophers. I'm Rockin Robbie Billups, and it's time for the weekly Pop Culture Wrap-Up. That's right, everybody. Thanks for checking out the video. I am Rockin Robbie Billups. This is the weekly Pop Culture Wrap-Up. It's the show where I go over the week's pop culture news, mostly comic books and movies. Let's get right into it with some comic book news. Destiny of X. What is Destiny of X? Well, it's the next X-Men event scheduled for spring 2022. All we got is a little bit of a teaser so far, but I can't really say that I'm getting that excited, okay? So Hickman's on his way out. We're wrapping up Inferno right now, right? We got 2 more issues to go. Then we got the 10 lives and the 10 deaths of Wolverine, and that's going to be like a weekly series. And then we got the promise of Destiny of X. What is it? It might just wind up being the next phase, like there was Dawn of X, there was Reign of X, now this is Destiny of X. Maybe it's just the next wave, maybe it's not actually an event, a tie-in, a Hellfire Gala, a Ten of Swords, something like that. But with my recent opinions of the X Office, I'm just not that excited for this, but we shall see what happens. Luke Cage City of Fire has been canceled by Marvel before it even sees publication. This was supposed to be a 3-issue series focusing back in on Luke Cage, giving him another proper book for his 50th anniversary, even though, of course, it's just going to be a 3-issue series. Now it's going to be a 0-issue series. We're not going to see it. Maybe one day it'll be resolicited, but as far as I'm aware, it has been canned, it has been stopped, and it ain't coming out. Decorum and the Womanly Art of Empire. So Decorum just wrapped up with issue number 8 this week. It was my pick of the week. Of course it was. That surprised absolutely nobody. But the biggest surprise for me in this issue was the promise of another series to come. Decorum and the Womanly Art of Empire. We have no information about it except for that title. Hopefully it's still Hickman and Huddleston, not other people coming in. But if other people came in, let's just hope that it's Hickman and Huddleston. We'll see what happens. We have no idea when this comes out, but I hope that they get a little bit of a leeway into it. So maybe like 5-6 years from now, something like that. Primos from February, or in February, from AWA Comics. This one's written by Al Madrigal with Carlo Barberi on the artwork. This one sounds really cool to me. It's right in my wheelhouse of interest because it's about space Mayans. Seriously, let me read you the solicitation. Centuries ago, 2 Mayan brothers constructed a spacecraft that sent them hurtling into outer space. Returned to Earth only to find their culture and civilization destroyed, one of the brothers vows revenge and seeks to decimate the planet with intergalactic technology gathered on his travels. Come on. To prevent this, his sibling creates a contingency plan that activates the world's protectors, descendants of their own family. Now, the fate of the planet lies in the hands of 3 cousins scattered throughout Central and North America who have never even met. This sounds awesome. I'm not really familiar with the writer. Carlo Barberi's doing amazing work over at Spawn right now, so I'm really excited for that. I think this is a revitalized or re-energized Barberi coming back into the comic book pages after his stint at Spawn. We'll see what happens. And he's still doing Spawn, so this book's totally in my wheelhouse. That's from AWA in February. Mo Deer has been teased by Ben Templesmith. This is a new project for Ben Templesmith that will be only available on his Patreon. I'm a big Templesmith fan. I know people out there are, so I wanted to point you into that direction. Speed Republic arrives from Mad Cave in February. This is by Ryan Lindsay and Emmanuel Barcelondolo. This one is kind of promised to be like Cannonball Run meets Mad Max. Mad Cave does some decent work. They do some solid stuff here, some okay stuff there. Let's take a look at the solicitation. It says, in the future, Europe has united under one man, the autocrat. He rules the apocalyptic landscape from corporate monopolies with a vision of unity that is gospel to some, but hollow to others. To distract the 99% from their poor and empty lives, they are given the opportunity to compete in the grand race, a marathon street race through Europe where only one driver can make it to the end and win a life of luxury. All right, Cannonball Run meets Mad Max. I totally get that. It's a little bit like Hunger Games in a way, right? You know, that kind of an idea. It's not a new and original idea. It's not a new and original idea when Hunger Games did it, but it's something to check out. I guess it could be interesting if it's got like this, if it's got like an energy about it. Like if it feels fast, if it feels speedy, It could be something definitely interesting enough to check out. Silk Hills is a graphic novel arriving in the summer of 2022 from Oni Press. This is by Ryan Ferrier and Brian Levy. This one's kind of cool because it's entering Mothman territory. And I like that. So it says, when Beth Wills comes to Silk Hills, a small Appalachian town that's seen better days since the mines were abandoned, she expected a bit of a culture shock, but not like this. Beth is someone who has a talent for finding people who don't want to be found. And when she's called to Silk Hills by a local titan of industry, she can tell that something is not right. The town was once booming, but now the only reason people tend to come through anymore is to buy Mothman merchandise. Before long, Beth finds out just how wrong things can get in the woods, as her search for a missing troubled youth finds her running afoul of the local drug trade, 2 friendly creepers, and a very sinister deer in psychoactive moth dust. That sounds intriguing. That really does. We got a graphic novel coming from Humanoids in February called CHRONOPHAGE. This is by Tim Seeley. It says a single mother becomes involved with a mysterious man who consumes moments of her life, leading her to question her choices and whether they can or should be undone. When Chloe begins a passionate relationship with a traveling businessman named Heath Doran, her life immediately changes for the better, and not just because she's getting laid. Friends thought long lost return, and new opportunities suddenly present themselves out of nowhere. Soon, however, she begins experiencing horrific encounters with ghostly beings, eventually revealed to be the echoes of moments that she has somehow no longer lived. Terrified at the realization that her past is being rewritten and that Heath is not who or even what he seems to be, Chloe must find a way to take back the seconds, minutes, and hours stolen by the alien chronophage masquerading as her new lover. That sounds pretty freaking cool too. That's a cool concept. I'm not usually the biggest digger on Tim Seeley's work, but I'm interested enough to check it out. Some of the artwork I've seen, and I did not write the artist's name down. There it is, Elias Cambialzes. I butchered that. That's probably why I didn't type it out here. Anyway, really excited for these concepts. They sound kind of cool, so we'll see what happens. Hammer Studios has formed. That's right. Hammer Films has merged with another company to give us Hammer Studios. Why is this important? Well, if you're a horror fan like me, it's humongously important because the Hammer films are some of the greatest updated versions of those Universal classics. Well, updated for the 60s and 70s when they were in their heyday. Horror of Dracula, Curse of Frankenstein, Curse of the Werewolf, The Mummy. I love Hammer films. So what's going to be happening is that they're doing new films, first of all, so that could be cool. Hammer Studios doing new movies based on some of these properties and doing different things too could be really interesting. But what I'm most excited for, they're going to start restoring the old Hammer films, the Christopher Lee, Peter Cushing stuff. Oh my goodness, I am so ready for some restored 4K Hammer films and some box sets. Like, imagine the complete Hammer films Dracula, the complete Hammer films Frankenstein, the complete Hammer films Other Monsters, because there wasn't that many Mummy movies, and Curse the Werewolf had the... Anyway, how cool is that? That's super cool. We'll be talking about that more on Dylan's Horror Show tonight, when we also discover or rediscover the film Motel Hell. Groo the Wanderer has been optioned for TV and film. Groo's a fantastic comic book from Sergio Aragonés, Mark Evanier. Definitely worth checking out. Here's the big news for me. First of all, I'm surprised that this has never happened. If you're not familiar, Groo's kind of like a very humorous, silly take on Conan the Barbarian in a way. And Sergio Aragonés is, you'll most likely know him, his artwork from Mad Magazine. Fantastic stuff, really quirky, really fun. Recently, they've been doing the Groo meets Tarzan stuff. I missed an issue of that, so I haven't been keeping up with it. But that book's been amusing me, and I'm excited for this. I'm very surprised it's never happened, to be honest with you. I definitely hope they go the animated route. Like, if they do live action, that could be pretty freaking dumb. But I'm excited. The most exciting thing, though, is that maybe now we'll get some proper, like, omnibus or deluxe hardcover collections of all the old school Groo stuff. Please? Please? Yes. There's also a League of Super Pets trailer that debuted this week, and, it was alright. It's alright. This is a movie made for kids. The Rock. It didn't win me over, to be honest. The trailer didn't win me over. This is just a movie for kids, and I'm cool with that, and I accept that. I wasn't expecting much out of a League of Super Pets animated film. Anyway, that's the news that we got for you this week. What do you got? Throw it out in the comments down below. Thank you so much for checking out the video. Please be sure to like, share, and subscribe. And join us over at popculturephilosophers.com for podcasts, blogs, and a whole lot more. I've been Rockin Robbie Billups. Thanks for rocking with us. Keep on living. Station.